Namaste. Welcome to your Friday, February 12th practice. Happy Lunar New Year. I know at least one of you are affected by this as far as your work goes with the Chinese New Year. So hopefully we can all take a little time out just to acknowledge that all around the world, we've always got these different things happening. Life is a matter of perspective. So happy New Year. All right, find a comfortable seat. And I will recommend today, if you'd like to find Baddha Konasana. So this is where the soles of the feet come together and we let the knees open out wide. I encourage you to sit on a folded blanket. And if you'd like, you can place the blocks under your thighs. And this gives them some support so that we can focus instead on finding a steady structure and be able to find some stillness here rather than fighting the legs too much. If this simply doesn't work for you, you can just find any easy seat. If you are in Baddha Konasana, then perhaps you move your feet farther away from your seat or maybe draw the heels in closer. Find a position that feels like it'll be a bit sustainable. Exploring sthira and sukha, steadiness and ease. We can bring that idea of steadiness and ease, of course, into any posture, but particularly in a seated one, we can focus on steadiness and ease, allowing us to shift our awareness away from the body and into the breath. If it's comfortable, close your eyes and enjoy a couple of breaths, just settling. Yesterday, we discussed the idea of taking a seat with gracious dignity. So perhaps we return to that. And after a breath or two, let's bring our hands together at heart center, pressing the hands together as we press the soles of the feet together. We have intention here as we inhale and exhale. Allow the shoulders to relax down. Inhale for one Om. Release your hands to your ankles or calves, shins, giving your legs a little squeeze. You can walk your hands up the lower legs, just pressing into the meaty flesh below the shin bone. And then coming to stillness, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and see if you can keep the shoulders drawing together and down while you sit tall. And maybe you shift forward a little bit, hinging at the hips. Breathe deeply. Press the big toe mounds into each other. And maybe with your hands, you can feel that shift in the ankles. With every inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine, lengthen the torso. And with every exhale, maybe you hinge a little more into your forward folds. Inhales invite space into the body. Exhales give us an opportunity to release into that space. Steady breath. One more round of breath. Maybe you fold a little deeper. Maybe as you exhale, you drop your chin to chest, noticing how that changes the experience of the stretch on our back body. And on an inhale, lift back up, long spine. Use your hands to bring your knees together. Set the blocks towards the top of your mat and make your way into tabletop. You can always put the blanket under your knees if that support feels good. As you find tabletop position, pass through cow and cat a few times, dropping the belly, drawing the heart forward on the inhale, rounding the spine, chin towards chest on the exhale. Let this be a fluid movement. Notice your foundation. How are you sending the weight into your hands? What's the rotation of your arms in your shoulder socket? Can you round the upper arms so that the elbows point towards your thighs? That's that contradictory cue, because as we do that, we need to re-anchor into our index finger. Internal rotation of the lower arms, external rotation of the upper arms. It is tricky. That is why we practice. Come through stillness and tabletop. Really knit your lower ribs up and in. Hug your core muscles in so your back is long, spine is really long and neutral, looking straight down. On an inhale, lift your left leg so the knee stays bent just as it was on the ground, but we're bringing the sole of the foot towards the sky. Hover here for a moment and set your left knee down. Lift the right knee, same story here. So right thigh comes towards parallel to the mat, sole of the foot towards the sky. Push the ground away so there's some hollowness in the armpits. Steady inhale, exhale, set your knee down. On your next inhale, left foot to the sky. Maybe this time we involve the cervical spine looking up. And exhale to neutral. Inhale, right leg up, maybe lifting the gaze. And exhale down. Begin to move with your breath as Toby poses for the camera. All right. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Hey, mister. Thank you. So alternating legs, lifting and lowering. Keep your core muscles engaged. We're moving tenderly through the spine. And if you'd like, you can begin on your exhale to round your spine. In honor of Toby, we'll pass through cat. So inhale, cow with a lifted leg. Exhale, cat. Notice the weight in your hands as you shift from side to side and move at your own pace. You can go slower or faster than I'm demonstrating. Notice how the hands are making all those little micro compensations to balance you out. See if you can keep it relatively level between the hands. A steadiness in the hands and our foundation. Pass through another cycle or two. And then as you come to neutral on an exhale, send your hips back, finding child's pose, Balasana. You've got options here. You can keep your knees together or send the knees out wide. Arms can be extended up overhead, or maybe you keep your elbows bent, resting your head on your hands, or even arms by your side. A slow, steady cycle of breath. On an inhale, rise back up, come into tabletop. Option, just an option, to squeeze the block between the thighs. I keep it on its lowest setting, so the shortest setting between the thighs. Left hand to the middle of the mat. Inhale your right hand up to the sky. And exhale, thread the needle. We'll keep moving with this. Inhale, lifting up, right arm to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, lift up. So squeezing the block here helps us stabilize our hips. They can't wiggle so much, so it keeps the movement in our thoracic spine a bit more. One more big inhale, reach up. And exhale, set your right hand down in the middle. Inhale your left hand to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Doing this about 5 times. We inhale, reach up. And exhale, thread through. Inhale, reach up. Another time or two. Building some heat with our movement. And on your next inhale, really reach. Exhale, setting your hands down. Now keeping the block between the thighs, lower down to your elbows. Tuck your toes and find forearm plank. Squeezing the block, pushing the ground away. Our elbows are right under our shoulders. Drop your tailbone down towards your heels. Really hug your core muscles in. Imagine lifting your lower ribs. Look straight down so that the back of our necks are long. Try to stick with this 3 more breaths. Imagine pushing the ground away. That'll give you a sense of buoyancy and lift. Steady inhale. Easy exhale. One more cycle of breath. And as you're ready, drop your knees down. Walk your hands back. You'll remove that block. Return to Balasana, child's pose. You can rock your head from side to side. Maybe shrug and then relax your shoulders a time or two. Re-extend your arms up overhead. Big inhale here. Tuck your toes, and as you exhale, find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can imagine that you're squeezing the block between your thighs as you rotate your inner thighs up towards the sky. Imagine spiraling the upper inner thighs to the sky as you push the ground away, melting your heart towards your thighs, head hanging heavy, core muscles engaged, anchored into the root of your index finger as your upper arms wrap around towards the inside. One more big inhale here. As you exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Let's replace one of the blocks between our upper thighs, as long as that works for you. You can still keep a bend in the knees as you breathe in Uttanasana with a block. As we rise up, we'll think again of that Booker T. Washington quote from yesterday. There are 2 ways of exerting one's strength. One is pushing down, the other is pulling up. So on an inhale, push down. As you pull all the way up, arms reach out and up, we reach. Exhale your hands at heart center. Now we're still squeezing that block between our upper thighs if we put it there. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, sit back into an Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Engage your gluteal muscles, squeeze that block. Lower your hands to your knees. Inhale, find a cow pose. And exhale, find cat. Move at your own pace. Inhaling cow and exhaling cat. Take about 5 rounds of this. If something feels really sweet, you're welcome to stay and breathe into it. You can add some neck rolls from cat if that works for you. A few more cycles of breath, exploring the body. And as you're ready, press into the feet, root down to rise up, return to standing. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, return to Utkatasana chair pose. Glance down, make sure you can see your big toes in front of your knees. If not, do what you've got to do so that you can. That protects our knees. Now hug your core muscles in, really knit those lower ribs in. As you drop your tailbone, maybe you can lift your heart. Always adjusting. There's much to do in this pose, thankfully, to distract us from how our thighs are feeling. Keep breathing. Now you're welcome to stay in chair pose just as you are, squeezing that block, sitting back. Maybe on your next inhale, you reach a little higher. Maybe as you exhale, you bring your hands to prayer mudra at your heart and twist over to your left. Maybe you fold a little more forward, bringing your right elbow to your left thigh. Keep squeezing that block. That helps us keep our knees and hips in alignment. If you took the twist, then press your right elbow into your left thigh. We're trying to stack our left shoulder over our right shoulder, right over the center of our stance. You can be looking up over the left shoulder, maybe down to the earth. One more big breath wherever you are. Lengthen your spine. On an inhale, return to standing. Reach all the way up. Stand up straight. Exhale, return to Utkatasana chair pose. Glance down, make sure you can see your toes. Big inhale for length. You could stay here and breathe, or exhale, hands to heart center, twist over to your right. Maybe that left elbow reaches the right thigh. Hands press together. That helps us to deepen this twist. Core muscles engaged. You can stay looking down between your feet, or maybe lift the gaze up over your right shoulders. Keep squeezing the block, keep breathing. Big inhale. Exhale. On an inhale, unwind, stand all the way up. Exhale, stay standing, relax your shoulders with the arms still lifted. Inhale, see if you can lift a little higher. Press your hips forward, maybe you find a back bend. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding all the way down. Long spine. Hang in Uttanasana, forward fold. You can bend your knees, you can drape your torso over your thighs, maybe clasp opposite elbows. Enjoying a breath or two here. Release the block from your thighs. Both blocks under the hands. On an inhale, rise all the way up, arms outstretched. Exhale your hands to heart center. Now we will explore some balancing. So if you need a chair or to move to a wall, now's the time to do so. So pick up your, first Tadasana. Stabilize. Take a moment. Come into it with intention. I almost glossed over it. So we are standing first in Tadasana, mountain pose. Imagine squeezing that block and anchoring down. Now we slowly shift our weight into our left leg, put a little bend in the left knee, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Now, if that's not available to you, just work with it the best you can. We're going towards a figure four in chair. So sending the hips back. Lots of balance happening here. You can press your hands together at heart center. Maybe you can reach your arms up overhead. Maybe you're holding on to a chair or a wall. Flex your right foot and ankle. Let's see if we can stay for 3 more breaths, noticing all the effort the body makes to adjust and compensate for us. And as you're ready, gracefully stand up, returning your right foot to the earth, finding your centeredness in Tadasana, mountain pose, knowing that now we'll shift into the right leg, really engaging the right gluteal muscles, bending the left leg, placing the left ankle towards the right thigh as we sit back, finding our chair pose and our figure 4 hip opener. Hands can come to heart center or wherever they need to go to help you steady yourself and breathe here. Stay light on the toes of your standing foot. Stay flexed and active through your left ankle. Breathing here, can you hug your core muscles in and anchor your tailbone a bit more? Inhaling, exhaling. And on an inhale, stand into your right leg, releasing your left. If that worked for you, we'll add on. If you were at a wall or the balance wasn't so much, I would just keep practicing that. So if it's an option, set your blocks on the highest height at the top of your mat, facing the blocks. Reclaim that Tadasana mountain pose. Shift into your left leg. Once again, finding this awkward chair with a figure 4. So the right ankle is on the left thigh. Balance here. Breathing. You can stay just as you are, or maybe you begin to fold forward, hands coming to blocks. Remembering that we're always exploring. We're always amazed at what we can do, no matter what it is. Keeping right foot and ankle flexed and active. Maybe you fold forward a bit deeper. Maybe you straighten your left leg a bit. Freedom to play here. See what feels good as you breathe. You can let your head hang heavy. And for another breath or two, maybe you explore swaying your hips from side to side, getting long through the side body and the deep lower hips. All right, now the fun part. Bend into your left leg and see if you can unwind that right foot and send it back towards warrior 3. Our hands are on our blocks. We have that extra stability. Beautiful. Maybe you lift your left arm up and reach. Right hand can stay on the block, or maybe it reaches forward as well. Wiggle your fingers, stretch the foot and leg long. Inhale. Exhale, hands to blocks, right foot to mat. Long spine here, inhaling. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Return to Tadasana, mountain pose. We know where we're going, but let's stay present here, resisting the urge to start shifting to the right leg. Good, and as you feel steady through both legs, begin to carry the weight into the right side body. Lifting the left foot, we can place the left ankle on the right thigh. Always working with your range, your abilities. Begin to send your hips back and maybe your arms reach down, hands touching down to blocks. Breathe in this forward fold with a figure 4. Notice how each side feels different. Keep the foot and ankle on your left leg flexed and active. Try to stay light on your right toes. Maybe you sink your hips a little lower. Maybe hinging forward at the hips, deepening the forward fold feels better. So you have that option of keeping the right leg bent or straightening it. You can let your head hang heavy. Maybe you sway your hips side to side, imagining that we're making our spine longer. Breathe as you notice your experience. Is there somewhere you're holding tension where you could let go? As you inhale, lift up a bit. We're going to unwind the left leg and then send it back long. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Hands on the blocks here for support. Left heel reaching towards the sky. Maybe the right hand reaches in front. If that feels steady, maybe the left arm joins it. Breathe deeply. And on an exhale, hands and foot return to the mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale to fold forward. On an inhale, root down as you rise all the way up, full body stretch. Exhale, folding forward all the way down. Go ahead and drop your hips. Land in the center of your mat. You can keep your knees bent towards the sky, feet on the earth. Going to make our way down to our spine. Inhale and exhale, tilt back, engage your core. You can make this last as long as you want. When you're ready, roll down onto your spine. Keep your feet on the earth to begin with. Walk them out as wide as the mat. Knees fall together. Hands on your torso. Feel the breath coming and going here. You might be able to feel your heart beating. Feeling the rise and fall of the breath. And you're welcome to stay just like this if you'd like for Shavasana, or you can send your arms and legs out long, allowing yourself a couple moments of complete surrender. Stay with your breath. Yoga Sutra 2.46, Sthira Sukham Asanam. Asana, or your connection to the earth, is a steady and comfortable posture. Any pose that brings comfort and steadiness is an asana. If you can achieve one pose, that is enough. It may sound easy, but in how many poses are we really comfortable and steady? Inhale fully, feeling the expansion of the body in all directions. Exhale, releasing into the mat, feeling the tension melt away. Invite movement into the body. And eventually make your way back to an easy seat. If you have time for a longer Shavasana or meditation, feel free to mute me or close this out. And as we arrive back in our easy seat, inhale, pulling the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, sigh the breath out as you roll the shoulders back and down. Bringing your hands together at heart center, we'll close practice by sharing one round of Om. Full inhale. Thank you for sharing the practice of yoga. Namaste.